want
We
to talk
love
about
hip hop.
this video that I found here. There's a video that I saw on YouTube where there's a gentleman and his crew. These guys are actually from Quebec, and they were like Hell's Angels killers. Craziest video I've seen in a long time. Let me see if I can pull up this video and give some credit to the creator. This is courtesy of, and just give me a second and while it pulls up on the screen. Courtesy of the Criminal Files. All right. We're just going to go over this video, see what's going on here, because listen, that gangster scene over there in Quebec is no joke. I'm not trying to get into a bunch of deep shit over here neither. We're just reacting to a video that's already out there. They got about 140,000 views on it, so it's doing well. But yeah, let's go over this video here.
On organized crime in Quebec has led to more than 30 arrests in the last week, and more are
Video is called David Trammell, the man who declared war on Hell's Angels.
expected. Authorities say it's a blow to the Blood family mafia.
$250,000. That's how much the Canadian government was offering for one name. Not for a killer on the run. Not for a cartel leader. For a man in his 20s with no known address, no public image, and a crew no one had ever seen. Dave Picktermal. But here's what made it worse. Nobody claimed the reward. Not his crew, not his rivals, not even the people who wanted him dead. Because the man they were hunting wasn't just a fugitive. He was a ghost. One who ran a war from across the ocean and left behind encrypted devices, burner phones, and silence so heavy, not even the bodies he left behind could break it. The first clues...
Also, the guy who's making this video, these guys has like his voice changer and all that type of shit. Yeah, hell yeah.
Weren't even treated as connected. A drug dealer goes missing in Levis. An SUV explodes outside a biker stash house. Then a failed kidnapping, a retaliation murder, a dismembered teenager left outside a Hell's Angels clubhouse like a warning no one understood.
Jesus.
Police didn't have a name, just scenes. Burned, mutilated, buried. Until whispers of a crew surfaced. The Blood family mafia. Young, masked, ruthless. No patches, no history, just fear. At the center, Trammell, issuing orders through encrypted chats, disappearing across Portugal, Morocco, and Italy without leaving a digital trace. They thought they were closing in, but when they finally found him, he was living in a private villa outside Rome, surrounded by burner phones,
this is like a movie,
forged passports, and a handwritten map of everything he built. And none of it was over. They say Dave Picktermal came from nothing. No father in the picture, no guidance, just a quiet kid growing up in Quebec City. One who figured out early that fear could move faster than respect. Born in the late 90s, Trammell came of age in a post-biker war province, where the Hells Angels controlled the flow of drugs, money, and silence. But he didn't want a seat at their table. He wanted to build his own. By his early 20s, Trammell had carved out a name, not by volume, but by violence. He wasn't just pushing meth and coke. He was making examples. Dealers who crossed him disappeared. Homes belonging to rival crews.
This guy is right now. Well, we're gonna get to a point in this video here, and I'm not gonna play it all the way through. We're just gonna skip to like the good parts there. But there's a point where like he had the Hells under pressure. In not the whole organization across North America, but like in Quebec. Whew.
Crews were set ablaze. Victims weren't just killed. They were dismembered, burned, or dumped in daylight. Each act left a message. Cross us.
So we're gonna get to his crew.
Threats. He didn't need numbers. He needed control. His core lieutenants were just as ruthless. Rubens Denise, the quiet tactician, second in command. Old Boyvin, the muscle, known for firebombings and disappearing just before raids. Trammell ran it all, like a CEO of violence. Profits laundered through crypto. Orders relayed through ghost accounts. Everything coded, layered, and disposable. And when the pressure finally came down in early 2023, he didn't blink. He disappeared. Portugal, then Morocco, then Greece, then, eventually, Italy. But even from across the world, his...
So when this guy had to make a move after everything started going crazy, like I'll skip to the end of the video when it's time, but like he went all the way out of the country, like super OT. So here's a couple of the wild things that he did.
Himself. February 2023. No formal announcement, no blood spilled, yet just a subtle shift. Dave Turmel stopped paying the Hells Angels 10% street tax. He didn't ask permission, didn't warn anyone. He simply cut them off. In Quebec's underworld, that's not just bold, it's suicidal. March 2023. A Hells Angels affiliated dealer disappears. No one hears a struggle. No body is ever found. Days later, an SUV linked to Turmel's operation explodes in a controlled detonation. The timing is deliberate. The symbolism is clear. Is it retaliation? A warning? Or Turmel burning evidence ahead of something bigger? June 2023. A kidnapping attempt targets a high-ranking member of the Hells Angels. It fails. Someone ends up dead. No one claims the hit, but investigators quietly begin tying the incident to BFM. Surveillance picks up chatter, coded phrases, silent zones and phone traffic, money moving through unknown hands. By now, police have a name and a pattern. Dave Turmel is no longer a ghost. He's the center of Quebec's most dangerous turf war. July 24, 2023. SPVQ issues public arrest warrants for Turmel and Rubens Diniz. The charges: drug trafficking, conspiracy, leadership of a criminal organization. But when authorities move in, both men have vanished. No signal traces, no known contacts, nothing. How did two fugitives disappear at the peak of a manhunt, unless they planned it months in advance? September 2023. The war goes public. Molotov cocktails are thrown at biker-linked businesses in Lévis and Beauce. The home of Hells Angels affiliate, Matthew Pelletier, is torched. No casualties, just a message. We're not afraid. The attacks are clean, coordinated. There's no evidence, no prints, no digital trail. It's as if the fires lit themselves. February 19, 2024. St. Malachy. A hostage crisis erupts
This guy said it's like the fires lit themselves.
inside a rural home. 4 people shot. 1 dead, 3 critically injured. The incident never makes full headlines. No names, no photos. But within hours, investigators link it to BFM. Was it a
These guys are just tearing down the place, bro.
deal gone wrong? A betrayal? Or a quiet purge within Turmel's own ranks? September 16, 2024. A body is found outside a Hells Angels clubhouse in Beauce, or what's left of one. The victim is a teenage BFM associate, dismembered and burned,
Jeez.
plastic wrapped, no ID. It's a warning. And for the first time in the war,
So at this point, like in the story here, these guys, the HA guys started getting fed up of all of this, knocking off all our guys one by one, from this BFM crew. They weren't like they weren't a big crews, like numbers wise, right? So I guess it was kind of crazy that these guys were able to have that much power and effect to be able to knock off that many Hells Angels guys. But I feel like I'm watching a movie, but this is all shit that really happened. Like I remember seeing Homeboy on the Bolo list, to be on the lookout list.
message doesn't come from Turmel. It's coming back. Had the Angels finally found a way to hit him where it hurt? December 2024. Turmel is placed on Canada's B.O.L.O. Top 25 Fugitives list. The reward, $250,000. Still no one
$250,000 reward. All right. The highest reward that we got from any of our Toronto rappers, I think, would have been Top Gunna, who had like a $75,000 reward, which is crazy. This guy had a $250,000 reward.
talks.
Mind you, way different level of crime, though.
Not his allies, not his rivals, not even his enemies. Because when someone like Turmel disappears, the people left behind know better than to look. Late 2022, the killings were too frequent, the targets too precise, and none of the old players, the bikers, the cartels, the street gangs, wanted to claim them. That's when Quebec's Organized Crime Division launched Project Malsain. Their objective was simple: map out the Blood family mafia and, more importantly, find the man holding the strings from somewhere overseas. But what they found looked nothing like a local drug crew. Early 2023, Project Malsane analysts begin pulling patterns: unusual crypto activity linked to burner wallets, drug routes weaving through South Shore towns with no previous connections,
That's where I'm from, the South Shore.
phone pings that bounced across international towers in under 3 hours, too fast for commercial flights. And then came the body dumps. No signature.
It's the funny thing about the South Shore is it's basically suburbs for the most part, right? They got different parts of the South Shore like Longueuil or Longueuil, that has like more hood areas, and there are parts of the South Shore that have a little bit of hood areas, parts of Broussard that I guess are a little bit hood, but for the most part it's suburban areas. So you would think that, oh, there ain't no gangsters over there. The most gangsters be living in these little homes over there, buying out, renting out suburban homes and stuff like that. I'm not saying I'm renting out the gangsters. I'm far from renting out the gangsters, but I rent out a house in the South Shore as we speak. So you never know. I'm very selective when it comes to my tenants of whoever I rent out my house to over there. But you never know. You rent out the house to Jean Guy, and Jean Guy, next thing you know, he pulls up with a bike in front of your crib. You never know. You have to be careful.
Sure, no taunt, just gone. This wasn't about control anymore. This was about proving they didn't need permission to operate. Turmel had gone fully underground, and yet he was everywhere. February 2024. After 18 months of surveillance, police execute simultaneous raids across Quebec, hitting stash houses, safe locations, and suspected crew affiliates in Lévis, Beauce, and Trois-Rivières. 18 people arrested. Weapons, encrypted laptops, and a stack of forged IDs are seized. But Turmel and Ruben...
The thing is that they're going to get to in this video also, and I'm going to skip forward a little bit, is finding these guys, like the whole crew, even though it's not a big crew, was hard as for the cops to do. The way these guys were moving, like it took them a minute to find these guys.
Rubens Dennis, gone. Investigators believe they fled months earlier, using ghost flights and falsified travel histories. Poof. Interpol is quietly briefed. A global notice is drafted, but kept sealed from public view. They want him cornered, not scared. February 29, 2024. The first real break. Rubens Dennis is captured in Lisbon, Portugal, during a joint...
This guy got all the way to Portugal.
...sting operation with local authorities. He's arrested without resistance, sitting in a quiet hotel, under a false identity. Inside his room, cash from 4 countries, 2 encrypted phones, and a notebook referencing drop zones in Greece, Spain, and Rome. That's when the picture changes. Turmel didn't just flee.
Hold on, I gotta read this comment. I gotta put some respect on JL. He says, I'm renting in Hochelaga. It's full of trailer trash. Yeah. I'm sorry, broski. I'm sorry for you. You gotta really, really screen, double, triple screen those tenants over there in Hochelaga. Jesus Christ.
He was still orchestrating. March 2024. A message arrives at a police contact in Quebec. Encrypted, untraceable. It contains no introduction, just 2 coordinates. A phrase, he's tired of moving. Investigators believe it came from a disgruntled BFM insider, lured by the $250,000 reward, or possibly someone trying to trade intel for immunity. Either way, the data is real. It points to a quiet holiday.
It had to be a snitch that got him. You know what I'm saying? Not to say, listen, F the police, right? I'm sure they tried to do as much police work as they could and spend all the resources they could. But that $250,000 reward probably helped a lot.
Villa outside Rome. Authorities in Italy are mobilized. A sealed international arrest warrant is activated. March 27th or 28th, 2025. The time zone makes it unclear. But somewhere between midnight and sunrise, A tactical team enters the villa. No resistance, no weapons raised. Turmel is standing in a hallway barefoot, waiting. Inside the villa, a forged French passport, 6 burner phones, stacks of SIM cards, a handwritten logbook of coded deliveries, names, and bank routes, and multiple USB drives encrypted beyond standard decryption tools. Italian authorities confirm his identity. He's detained at Regina Coeli, Rome's historic high-risk prison.
So here's the thing. This guy got locked up, right? It's not the end of the story. They got him locked up in Italy right now. The man made it all the way from Quebec to Italy. They found him, like as they said in the video here, 6 phones, bunch of different chips. What did it say? Coded log cards. However, it's the chips that really got these guys, because now they're going to have the argument of, we need to extradite this guy back over to Canada so that he can serve trial for all of the killings and all of the different things. And we want to know what are on those chips. They'll be able to go through the chips and find out all of the intel that they need to find out on maybe more gangs in Canada, as far as Quebec, probably all the way to Ontario, all the way to Vancouver. They're on these chips. But the Italian government ain't letting this nigga go.
But there's a problem. Italy wants to charge him first. Under European law, crimes committed within their borders take priority, and Turmel has allegedly violated multiple Italian drug and weapons statutes during his stay. Canada submits its formal extradition request. That now, the waiting begins.
Matumbo.
Will Turmel be sent back to face justice in Quebec? Or will his trial and his secrets be buried under Italian law? Either way, one thing's certain. He didn't act alone, and the devices they seized are still being unlocked. The arrest made headlines in both countries. But what came next wasn't simple. Turmel's capture outside Rome should have been the end of a manhunt. Instead, it opened a legal tug-of-war between 2 governments, each with their own reasons for wanting him on trial. Canadian prosecutors moved fast. Within 48 hours, they filed a formal extradition request. Backed by years of sealed warrants and gang-related indictments, the charges were serious: conspiracy to traffic narcotics, organized crime leadership, arson and homicide links, and
this is all what we, not us, but the Canadian government is charging this nigga with. They're like, yo, bro, we got a long list, okay? Arson, extortion, all type of fuckery. And then watch what the Italian government want him for.
suspected involvement in a domestic terrorist act stemming from the St. Malachy hostage crisis. But Italy had its own case to make. Under European Criminal Code, Turmel had entered the country on false documents, coordinated drug movement through southern ports, and possibly maintained illegal firearms inside the villa.
Wah, 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 wah. Listen, man, I know it's a serious matter. It's not a laughing matter, but like, for you guys in Italy, yes, he had a gun. He had a couple of plans over there, but it's nothing compared to the types of shit that the Canadian government wants him for. And you guys are just like, no, we're keeping him. We want to deal with him first. And if they lock him up over there, if they try him and he's found guilty of his crimes over there, then they're going to keep him for an extended amount of time locked up in the Italian prisons. And then guess what? All that information that you guys are looking for over here in Canada, unless you're able to subpoena them cards and all that shit, is getting buried with him in the Italian prison. Fuck around, all that shit just disappears. Oh, we can't even find the evidence anymore. What evidence? And it's not an extradition country. Gucci Go says he'll escape before it makes it to Canada. I bet. All that. Holy. And the prison that they had him in, I can't see the inside of it obviously from the video, but it doesn't look as menacing as a Canadian jail or any jail in America or anything like that. Like, I'm not trying to diss Italy or anything like that, but I just never heard of Italy having the worst jail conditions in the world. Like, it just doesn't ring as something that'll come up on a list of worst jail condition places. Italy.
Italian prosecutors proposed filing charges locally first, citing sovereign priority and national security implications. And under EU law, that gives them the right to hold him. So for now, Turmel sits in Regina Coeli, awaiting trial not in Quebec, but in Rome. There's no plea deal on the table. No public defense. No press statements. He hasn't
This guy's eating spaghetti in jail.
spoken to the court, to law enforcement, or to his own attorneys. He just waits. Meanwhile, in Canada, the legal ripple effect has begun. Rubens Dennis, his former second-in-command, is currently awaiting trial in Quebec. He's charged with conspiracy, gang activity, trafficking, and indirect links to multiple homicides. So far, Dennis has remained silent. No cooperation, no bargaining. He's housed in protective custody. But authorities remain nervous. Too many people
He ain't gonna say shit neither. I don't care. You can squeeze whatever you want on this nigga. You ain't saying shit.
want him quiet. Too many questions haven't been answered. And then there's Al Boivin, the enforcer, still missing, still considered armed, dangerous, and strategically trained in arson and evasion. Interpol has flagged his name in connection with movements through Serbia, the Netherlands, and Colombia, but nothing has stuck. He's believed to be using South American cartel networks to move undetected.
That even sounds sick. That needs to be put in a rap somewhere. I'm moving with South American cartel connections to move undetected. Something like that needs to be put in a bar somewhere, bro. Holy. I'm not trying to like promote crime, say, oh, you guys are amazing, you're so sick. But bro, these niggas is moving sick. Damn.
Some believe he's hiding in plain sight. Others think he's already dead. But until a body is found, he stays on Canada's Bolo Top 25, with a high-value bounty still active.
How much is this bounty? 250,000 also? Holy.
Projected legal timeline?
Y'all trying to get some money out there?
2025-26. Turmel faces trial in Italy, most likely under weapons and trafficking charges.
What's good, brother?
2026-27. If convicted, Italy may hold him or allow extradition to Canada mid-sentence, depending on diplomatic negotiations. But there's one more twist. The encrypted devices recovered during Turmel's arrest still being cracked. Early reports suggest banking trails, dead drop routes, and encrypted client lists, some with names outside Quebec, outside Canada, possibly tied to South American trafficking syndicates. If
Big salute to What's the Dirt. Says great job on that belly piece, bro. You know, thank you, man. Coming from you, bro, who puts together great documentary pieces. Thank you.
even part of that's true, Turmel wasn't just starting a turf war. He was building a pipeline. And Quebec might have only been the first stop. So is the legal system chasing a gang leader? Or are they staring down the blueprint of a modern cartel, disguised as a local uprising? One thing is certain, if Turmel talks, a lot more people are going to prison. And if he doesn't, they'll have to find the rest on their own. As of June 2025.
Please, like, I know these guys have some kind of songs out there, because they look like a rap group.
Dave Pick Turmel remains behind high walls in Regina Coeli Prison, Rome. No trial date confirmed. No extradition granted. Just waiting, under 24/7 surveillance, with every phone call monitored, every letter scanned. His silence continues. No statements.
He ain't gonna say shit. Let me see. BFM? Music? Let's see if there's any music. No. Because I swear when I look at this freeze frame of these guys,
A sweeping police crackdown.
like he looked like he raps. You know what I'm saying? That don't look like a rapper to you? Like he put out some songs at one point? Underground Nation said, yo, no trial date. Listen, man, they're going to keep him hemmed up in the courts for a minute, bro. If he was able to get all the way to Italy, I'm sure he has good lawyers. I'm sure he has a share of power. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, who knows, man? Like, if this guy was able in a 3-man crew, I'm sure they had more guys. A 3-man crew was able to knock off Bear Hell's Angels guys. Who knows how much power this guy has, man? I'm not gonna say salute to him because it's salute to nobody. Like, we're not here to condone crime, but I'm just saying some criminals out here move sick, and you just don't even know who be the guy. You're looking at this white youth over here from Quebec, and he was tearing shit up, yo. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. I haven't uncovered anything. This is all documented information that's over there available on let's give some love to the YouTube channel again over here. The Criminal Files. Let me subscribe to the channel as well. Salute to the Criminal Files. Go tap into their channel. They make some great videos over there. But I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.